Kim, are you comfortable telling us about some of your favorite albums this year so far?
Wow. I can tell you about albums that I've listened to this year, not necessarily albums that came out this year.
Let me tell you a trick about what I like to talk about on Anno Annie, which is ostensibly a quarterly review podcast.
Right.
I talk about what I watched,
Yeah.
be it from this year or 10 years ago, Pat
Okay.
Labor.
I've really enjoyed Rolly Porter's work. He is, I have no idea where he's actually from, but he has a couple of albums that I really enjoyed. One of them is called Life Cycle of a Massive Star. And the other one, which is from 2 years ago, is called Third Law. And both of them are really excellent. I don't want to say ambient, but they're very like quiet, slow, kind of noise electronic albums. Both with kind of like really interesting themes. Then Robin's new album slaps. I love it. It's great. Love Robin. What else was really good that I've been listening to lately because I've only just picked it up? Come on, brain.
These are always hard questions.
Yeah, it's like, hey Cam, what's the thing that you're literally doing right now? Well, I don't know. I've forgotten what I am. There's a new Beirut album that I'm kind of interested in checking out. Oh yeah, this is Rolly Porter's. This is the first track off Third Law, which samples Ligeti's. Is this Lux Eterna?
I don't know.
It's from 2001. Is this Requiem for Three Voices, or is this Lux Eterna?
I'd have to hear a bit more, but...
Yeah, there was a new Nine Inch Nails album that came out earlier this year that I enjoyed. Listened to it a few times. It was a lot of fun. But there's also Colin Stetson's soundtrack for Hereditary, which was really cool. Colin Stetson has put out like a lot of really good albums recently.
If we can just take a quick jump, I just noticed I still had Hereditary on my list of things to watch for this year because I'm going through the late night dub fight clips options. How is Hereditary?
It's good.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I would love to have more complex ideas of it, but I honestly don't really know how to evaluate horror movies. I really enjoy them. It was Lux Eterna. Okay, cool. But I think I've made so many excuses for so many decades, from mediocre to bad horror, that I no longer have any capacity to evaluate it objectively at all. Right? Like most horror movies they're dreck. Right? It's like, they come out and they stab them again and over again. And I'm like, it's a B+, I guess.
It takes a lot to be a good horror film.
Yeah, but I think 2018 has been a great year for horror films.
A lot of people are saying that. Like, I'm not a big horror guy, so I can't really speak to it. But I've been hearing from the people I know, yourself and Ash, that there's been a lot this year.
Like, horror is a genre that doesn't get a lot of academic love. But there have been a couple of interesting works published in it that kind of look at, or try to look at how it works and what it does and what makes it interesting. So Eugene Thacker's "In the Dust of This World" is a really interesting book. It's on, you can buy it on Amazon, but it takes a stab at codifying how horror works. What else has been really good this year?
I'm good with the horror movie talk, honestly.
Oh no, fair.
Yeah, I mean, we just needed that for a challenge. So if it was your favorite albums of 2018 thus far. So
yeah,
if those are amongst your favorites.
The other one I've really been enjoying is Forest Sword's Engravings, which is his previous album, or their previous album. They came out with Compassion last year, which was great, and then that was my introduction to Forest Swords. So I had to go back through their previous catalog, and I picked up Engravings, which I think I like more. It has this great song called "The Weight of Gold," So give that a listen, and if that's your jam, then maybe those albums would be really good for you.
I'll have to look into that then. I don't know how to find music, and so I've been relying. This year, I've actually finally managed to train Apple Music to start giving me suggestions of things that I enjoy,
Right.
and are not covers of anime songs by white people,
Right.
because that's a real problem on Apple Music.
No, that's fair. I mean, I guess my struggle this year is that I've just been going back and really listening to a lot of stuff that I listened to as a teenager. Like going back and unironically listening to Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness and thinking, this is not as good as I remember it being, but this is actually still not that bad. Like Billy Corgan writes some interesting song lyrics, right? The Ava Adore single, somebody I follow on Twitter said the single for Ava Adore has both the Pumpkins' worst song and their best song on it, and she did not elaborate any further than that, and there's 3 songs on it. And then you're just like, you know, that image macro of the guy dabbing sweat as he looks at a button. One is marked once in a while, and the other one is marked Zarina. And also like 9 Inch Nails, like going back and listening to not only the Downward Spiral, but like Broken and Fixed.
Oh, wow.
And further down the Spiral V2, which has a couple of awesome remixes on it. Dummy and Portishead. Skinny Puppy. I think Too Dark Park is still a great album. It is. I think there's probably a genetic link, an unbroken link between Too Dark Park and Roly Porter's 2100, or Third Law. Sorry, 2100 is the track name. But you know, a concept album about environmental collapse is kind of, you know, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, you got my attention now.
Yeah. So yeah, like it's 2018, and Skinny Puppy's Too Dark Park is on my top 10 albums list.
I love it.
Guess.
I absolutely love it.
Is that how you know you're old? When you're like, man, nobody's released a good industrial album for 25 years.
Or it may just say something about the fact that it was always good, and what you listen to at 20 is what's good.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Like for a couple of years now, I've only really referenced or referred to Resident Advisor and The Quietus for album recommendations, and so I've got this very like. You know, it's like when you do your undergraduate and your master's degree and your PhD all at the same school.
Nope.
Right? And you've been exposed to, like, literally 3 people who have thoughts on your field. Right? That's how I feel having only, like, referenced those couple of websites.
And you're basically just hoping that one of them dies before you actually end up getting your own doctorate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, yesterday, Pitchfork published a review of System of a Down's Toxicity. Toxicity. The one from 2001.
Wow.
And they gave it 8.8. They're like, you know what? This album kind of rules. It has problems. It definitely has problems. Like, it's pretty sexist, right? But it's also like got some really interesting lyrics, and you know, it's generally in the right place.
I think the world could do with a lot more of re-examination of old favorites and how they.
Oh wait, I just saw something go by in the thread. Listen to Black Dresses.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Black Dresses is really good.